Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm so sorry for the long break in transmission due to a couple of challenges, but hey, I'm right back and hopefully no more breaking. We're just going to flow through. So today we're going to continue our topic on coming abroad, and today we'll be discussing particularly on following rules and regulations. So again, I say welcome to Facts, Issues, and Realities. So today, following rules and regulations. Obviously, this is, a topic that really touches my heart because it's what I do, what I coach people about. Coming abroad, you have to follow rules and regulations from whatever country you're going. However, you intend to go, either as a temporary resident, a visitor, a permanent resident, you still have to follow all rules and regulations pertaining particularly to that country. A lot of us that don't migrate from our home country, to another country are probably leaving from a country that is underdeveloped to a country that is well developed. And every country that is well developed obviously have rules and regulations, and it's important as an immigrant, even as a citizen, you have to follow the rules and regulations. So as an immigrant coming to that country, you also have to follow those rules and regulations. All countries do have rules, yes. However, whatever constitutes those rules, or the offenses of those rules could be different, right? Now, what I'm saying is, for instance, I live in a border city in Canada, and what constitutes an highway traffic rule in the US is different from what constitutes an highway traffic rule in Canada. Most US traffic rules could warrant jail terms, but in Canada, most of them probably would just be fines and just probations or seizing of your driver's license and so on. So that's what I'm trying to say when I say what constitutes these rules, what constitutes this crimes, these offenses, they do vary. So it's very important that wherever you're going, be it the UK, Australia, Brazil, the US, Canada, you have to do your research, and you always have to ask questions. The law will never let you go say, oh, I didn't know. There is no ignorance about the law. So, in my talk today, whenever I do workshops, actually, I always tell people, aside from the regular rules and regulations in a country, I also have my common rule, like common sense rule. I have four that I do talk to people about, four common sense rules that if you're able to go with those rules, my common sense rules, probably you will not even be breaking any rules and regulations of whatever country you're going to. Number one, I always tell people, as a visitor, especially as a visitor, when you're going to a country and you have the intention of changing your status in that country, it's always very important that at a point that you're transiting from being a visitor to maybe a student or a worker or trying to get a temporary residency, you have to keep off records. What do I mean by keep off records? Probably bank records, most especially. Try not to open an account. You don't want your name out there. You don't want people to know you're actually doing transactions in that country. It's very important. You don't need a bank account. Wait till you get your status change. Wait till you get your new status. Then, hey, you can open your bank account. The reason being that if you open your bank account, there are bank transactions happening, then you're refused of your status, or the application you put in is being denied. You're expected to leave that country at that time. Now, if you do not leave and you want to believe that they do not know that they tell you to leave the country and you do not leave, you're still in the country, it is very easy for them to realize that you are still in the country because banking informations are being circulated. Banking transactions, they know you purchased this at this time, they know you got this at this time, they know your banking is effective, which means you are still in the country. So until you get your right status, changing from a temporary to maybe like a student visa or a worker visa or working out your permanent resident, I always do encourage people to stay off any banking information. Also, under this, I always encourage people, you don't need an ID card. You have your passport already. I know a lot of people do try to, oh, I want to go do a drive test. I want to get a driver's license. I want to get the provincial ID for those in Canada. You don't need it. You don't need your name in the system as of now. You need to keep your life very, very low. You don't need to put yourself outside there until your status is changed and confirmed. Keep away from the system. Keep away from things that regulate. They all you may think they don't know, but hey, they do know, and they would always fish you out. So another point I like to it's that one is going on the immigration right now. A lot of people that do go to other countries, on your immigration, whatever papers you're given, be it a visitor or a student or worker, whatever it is, there are certain rules. For a visitor, they'll tell you no recourse to funds, which means you can't come in here and work and expect to be paid because you're just coming to visit, right? The same thing for students. I know students here in Canada, you have a minimum. You can work for 20 hours. That's if you're a full-time student. And for temporary workers, of course, you can work as long as your status to permit you. And for the asylum seekers, there's some rules and regulations you have to abide by even before your hearing. It's just so important that you follow these rules. There's no point, breaking rules. It makes you get into more trouble when your status says at the end of this year, it expires. It's either you're renewing before its expiration, or you have the mind of going back to your country or doing something else. Always stay on point. In some countries, once your status is expired, that's it. You can't renew it. You don't even have, you don't have the chance to be granted a renewal. That's it. It's done. So always follow the rules that comes with your immigration papers, your status, your whatever you are in a particular country that you are, and understand, like I always say, everybody wants to travel abroad for a better life. Everybody wants to travel abroad, to get a good education, to get everything good. Do your research. The country I'm going, what do they allow? What is permitted? How can I live there? It is so important. You see, following rules and regulations is about the slightest things people don't even think about when relocated. They just, oh yeah, we're just gonna go. We have to go abroad. No, it's so important. Some people, I have friends that today the kind of traffic pays and the fines they pay on driving and all that is so high because they relocated from a country whereby they don't have traffic rules. For instance, I am an African descendant. I'm originally from Nigeria, and in my country there are really the rules, but the rules are not even established because there are not no convictions, no punishment, for whatever crimes that are committed. For instance, you see someone driving under the influence of alcohol, the DUIs. Are they ever caught in Nigeria? No. Are they careless drivings? Are they ever caught? No. Now, somebody coming from a country like that, whereby you can go on, 100 kilometer per hour, and you're coming in, you're driving on a lane of a 50 kilometer per hour, and you're driving, 100. You may probably just think, you know what, it's the same. Let me just go the way I roll back in Nigeria. No, it's not. They're different, and for that reason, it is important for you to do your research, for you to find out the facts, focus on these issues and face the realities of where you are because this is a country you decided to migrate to. So, my third point, which again is a very, very, in fact, the most important point, is trying to avoid crime. Just try to stay off crime. This is another common sense rule. And what do I mean by crime? As little as shoplifting, just any kind of crime. Understand this. Sometimes your crimes may not actually warrant you going serving a jail term, but your crime stays on record and it never ever goes. If you don't know what constitutes a crime here, wherever you're going abroad, please ask questions. Do your research. For example, child pornography is a very, very heavy crime here in Canada. In most underdeveloped countries, I think they have a lot of things to worry about that child pornography is not even in their plates. So people involved with child pornography back in an underdeveloped country coming abroad could think, you know what, there's no big deal. I can continue with this act. No, it's a big deal abroad. And in most countries, you serve a long jail term. And for child pornography, basically, even here in Canada, After serving your term, you're confined to, you can't go to the park, you can't go to where children are. Once you're even married and you begin to have children, is it that your wife is leaving you or they take the children from you? It's a very, very heavy issue. And so many other crimes. But again, like I tell people, it's not just about you serving a jail term. It's basically about it being on your record. You can imagine you're trying to cross border and they're swiping, your driver's license, or they're swiping your passport, and the first thing that comes in or comes out is, one's convicted. It's so, so important that you try to stay off any form of crime. If you do not know what constitutes a crime, I've said it 1,000 times, please ask questions, do your research. I remember sometime in 2017, prior to that, we had a lot of cases from especially the black community, young lads coming in with so many offenses, so many charges. And when I asked the questions, they would tell me, listen, I didn't know it was a crime. And for some of them, it was really, really, they were just being honest. They didn't know it was a crime. So yes, we did run a workshop, where we had the Crown Attorney come speak, gave us the list of crimes, what constituted a crime, and the punishment if found guilty of this crime, and even life after serving your sentences, your convictions, and all that. He gave it out and told this youth. And listen, they really learned and benefited from it. Although there's still some people committing this crime, but just because we wanted, those especially from the black community to understand that whatever that is not considered a crime in your country is considered a crime here. So it's important that you do your research wherever you're going in the whole world. Do your research, find out what constitutes a crime. I know in some countries, they don't even want to see you with a Bible. They don't even want to see you pray. Please find out before boarding and deciding to go to this country. Now, lastly, people do tell me that, if I commit a crime or someone did something wrong and they're just gonna go on trial and once convicted, serve the jail term and that's it. I do tell people that no, as an immigrant, if you commit a crime and you're found guilty, you're convicted, you're sentenced, and it's like an indictable offense, if you go to jail, there is a probability that you will be deported when you serve your term. People have this notion that, hey, I'm a permanent resident, I'm a citizen, nothing can happen. No, things do happen. There was a case of a guy, I remember back in the UK, even after serving his time, he's been there for 27 years, he was deported back to his country. So please, please, please understand the gravities behind all these things. They are so little, and like I said before, sometimes it's not even part of what you think about before coming abroad. But it's so important you think about this. This should be in another plan that, hey, listen, what are considered crimes in this country? If I do this, is it considered a crime? Before even making plans to go to that particular country. It's so, so, so important. Okay, so I hope I have been able, to give you all those points and you've been able to understand and benefit from this point. It's just my common sense rule that would really help you in keeping off crimes and just following rules and regulations of whatever country you're going. Understand that you're leaving your country to migrate into another country. Try to be important in that country. Try to make yourself useful. You go to other countries, try to establish yourself. Try to make yourself important. Try to make yourself useful. Not trying to be, break laws and just keep constituting damages in that country. I hope I have been able to, pass on some information, and I'm hoping you guys do understand. If you have questions or observations or suggestions, you could just leave a message on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page, my Instagram handle, and Twitter handle as well. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to always face your facts, focus on your issues, and face the realities. Thank you.